sound stripe.
Connections is a preaching and teaching commentary on the Bible based upon the readings from the 3-year cycle of the Revised Common Lectionary. Connections is written for anyone who's engaged in the task of preaching on a regular basis, most especially pastors, obviously, but also for people who teach the Bible and lead in Bible study in congregations and elsewhere. I'd say a couple things set Connections apart from other commentaries. The first is, as we've already mentioned, it is devoted entirely to the preaching and teaching ministry of the church. The second is that for every passage in the Revised Common Lectionary, Connections includes 2 separate and distinct commentaries. Commentary 1 draws upon an ancient principle that says that often Scripture is its own best interpreter. So the writers of Commentary 1 will do a deep dive first into the historical, literary, theological meaning of the text, but then they'll put it in conversation with the rest of Scripture. They'll ask, what does this passage have to do with the section or the context in a biblical book? What does it have to do with the larger message of that biblical book itself? How does it fit with the rest of that same biblical genre, whether it be prophets or Torah or gospel or letters? And finally, it asks, what is this passage's conversation with the whole of Scripture? How does it confirm and how does it challenge the message of Scripture in other places? Commentary 2 draws on another theological conviction, which is that all truth is God's truth. So in Commentary 2, we ask the writers to place the Scripture in conversation with things like the church's history, with its theology, with ethics, with society, with culture, with art, with film, with science, with all sorts of other kinds of human knowledge and human learning, asking what light does the rest of human endeavor shine on the meaning of this passage. Connections is comprised of 9 volumes in total. There are 3 for each year in the lectionary cycle. The first volume in each year will cover the period from Advent through Christmas and Epiphany. The second volume will pick up with Lent and move through Holy Week, and Easter, and on through to Pentecost. And the third volume will cover the season after Pentecost through ordinary time, leading up to the beginning of the church's year. The 9 volumes are available to be purchased individually in collections of 3 for each lectionary year, and as a total set of 9 volumes